The European country of Estonia is one of fencing's emerging nations. Amongst their current crop of talented youngsters is 18-year-old Katrina Lehis, who's the world's #1 junior in the epee.
It's a great feeling being ranked #1 in the world. It's a reflection of the consistent season that I've had so far. I've been able to finish on the podium at several tournaments, and that's been great.
Katrina hails from the picturesque town of Haapsalu on the Baltic nation's west coast. This quiet seaside resort is home to around 11,000 people. It's famous for its salt mud spas and historic railway station, which once boasted Europe's longest covered platform. Estonia first competed at the Olympics in 1920. Between 1944 and 91, the country was occupied by the Soviet Union, and it wasn't until the Winter Games of 1992 that it returned to competing as an independent nation. The country has yet to win an Olympic medal in fencing, but Katrina's aiming to put that right. She's coached by Naukas.
I first came across Katrina when she was a 9-year-old schoolgirl. I was struck by this tall girl who was left-handed, and I thought that she should give fencing a try. When she came down to the club, her natural ability stood out immediately. She had something special that you just can't teach.
Katrina is also coached at the On Guard Fencing Club in Haapsalu by Helen's brother Peter. He combines his role here with another coaching job in Finland. Although Helen and Peter differ in their approach, their combination of training methods is proving to be quite successful.
The teaching system that my sister and I use is called the tandem technique, because she is right-handed and I'm left-handed. The main thing is for Katrina to learn good technique. Once you have all the technical and tactical know-how, then you're ready to compete and win against any opponent, regardless of whether they're tall, short, heavy or light, left or right-handed.
They both have their own methods, and they take quite a different approach to training. Peter tends to concentrate more on having a solid defense. Helen's ideas are a bit different. She likes to focus more on attacking options, and in particular, the importance of being able to launch quick and effective counter-attacks.
At the training session we filmed, Katrina's mother, Helle, was on hand to watch the two coaches putting her daughter through her paces. 2 years ago, as a result of her job, Helle was forced to relocate to the Estonian capital Tallinn, an hour-and-a-half's drive from Haapsalu.
For the past 2 years, I've been living on my own. My mum moved to Tallinn when I was 16. At first, I made the move with her. I trained in Tallinn during the week, and I travelled back to Haapsalu at weekends to train. But things didn't really work out for me, so I decided to move back here. I re-enrolled at my old school and continued my training at this club with my coaches.
Unfortunately, I don't get to see her very often. Firstly, because of the fact that she's always away competing, and very rarely in Estonia. And secondly, because of my work. I generally only get to see her on weekends, once or twice a month. We keep in regular contact though. We are always on the phone to one another, and we Skype each other too. I often call her in the mornings, and that always wakes her up.
Fortunately, Katrina does have some family ties in Haapsalu. Her father Virmo and grandmother Helga still live here. When Transworld Sport was in town, the Lehis family was celebrating Grandma's 75th birthday.
I try to come and visit my grandmother as often as possible. Today is her birthday, and she was really happy with the cake that I bought her. It even had her age written on it. She didn't know I was going to come over with a cake, and it was really great to see her looking so happy.
Katrina has 1 more year left of school, 1 more year of balancing her sport with her studies. The school has been very supportive of her fencing career, and her teachers have closely followed her progress in the sport. In recent years, the staff here have encountered a number of outstanding young athletes.
We have a very good female football player in the 10th grade here. Her name is Adept. She is doing really well and is already playing as an Estonian international. And a few years ago, Kaia went to school here. She is now a world-class tennis player.
With her mother Helle living in Tallinn, Katrina has developed a greater reliance on her coach Helen for advice and support. She teaches physical education at a junior school in Haapsalu. Over the years, the school's pupils have proved to be a fertile source of talent for her fencing club. The On Guard Club was set up 60 years ago by Helen and Peter's parents, and it has a history of producing champions. Nikolai Novoshalov, the 2010 epee world champion, honed his skills here, and there have been many other fencers from Haapsalu who've gone on to compete on the international stage.
I've been a coach here for the past 30 years. I feel that I have to continue my parents' work, and that's what keeps me going. I think I've done quite well over the years. I take fencers from a small club and help them to get to the top. This is my personal career goal, to be able to turn them into world-class fencers who can beat the French, the Russians and other big fencing nations.
Estonian fencers tend to specialise in the epee, in which the entire body is a valid target area. The epee is also the heaviest of all the weapons used in fencing and has a stiffer blade than those used in the sabre and foil. At 1.87 m tall, Katrina has found that her height and reach have been distinct advantages, and she's swept all before her on the junior circuit. The challenge now for the teenager is to make a successful transition to the senior ranks.
There's plenty of scope for development because she is still very young. Nowadays, the best fencers in the world tend to be close to 30 or even older, which means Katrina has more than 10 years ahead of her to develop further.
I'm thinking about continuing my studies, but I haven't made a final decision on that yet. The one thing I know for sure is that I will continue to fence. I should be able to train a lot more than I can now because it's quite difficult to combine training with going to school, although I have managed it all pretty well so far.
Naturally gifted and technically adept, Katrina Lehis appears poised to cut a swathe through fencing's senior ranks in the years to come.